My name is Sway Calloway. I've worked in entertainment for the majority of my life. And I'm an avid music lover. And so when given the opportunity to come here and speak to someone I consider a friend of mine, even though I met him through the business, I think we got kindred spirits. I like what he's about. I really appreciate his talent. And so today I'm going to have a conversation with him as a fan, not necessarily as not as a journalist, just as a fan of his music and his career. And I challenged myself to kind of sum up in words what I thought about T-Pain and all the success he's had. Oh, by the way, when I say T-Pain, give a round of applause, man. That's why we're here today. T-Pain, celebrating the 10th anniversary of rapper turned singer. And when you think about his career, man, this dude has had a lot of ups and a lot of downs, and he's faced a lot of adversity, but he's shown a lot of resilience. And I was recently watching a commercial that he did about defying labels. And I said, why am I stressing myself out, talking about T-Pain when no one can explain it as well as he does? And this was what inspired me right here. Do we have a screen? Oh, okay, look at the screen. All right.
I've definitely been labeled before. Some of my labels include talentless, ghetto, a gimmick. I've overcome those labels by somewhat embracing them. Those labels motivate me in a way that no one can describe. Every time I get on stage, I have something to prove, and I want to show those people that say that I'm talentless, and I want to show those people that say anything about me. You thought I was going to switch it up. You thought I was going to do something different. But guess what? I'm me. Me works. That's what my whole career has been about. Just proving everybody wrong. Just loop around it. Donuts all around those labels, man.
There you have it right there, man. Right? It makes a whole lot of sense. So we're going to have a conversation today. When I think of this guy, and all the accolades he achieved, we're going to celebrate his career today, and we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to invite you guys to join in. I'm not going to hog it at all. I do have a few questions for him. But when you put it together, man, this dude has had 12 #1 singles. That deserves a round of applause. All right. 60 top 10 singles that he's been a part of. 60. Okay. He's sold over 16 million albums on his own and over 50 million digital downloads. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the one and only T-Pain. What's up, man? No, stand there for a second. Take it in. T-Pain, y'all. T-Pain.
How's it going? What's happening, everybody? How y'all doing? Thank y'all for letting me come here. I didn't know it was going to be this many people. I would have wore looser pants. Thank you very much. All right.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, congratulations on all your success.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate
all right.
it. I appreciate it.
I think, wait, hold on. Hold on, man.
See?
Damn, man. Hold on, man.
It's been in the entertainment business his whole life.
Sorry, T-Pain. Hold up. I think we should have a toast, man. Let's toast.
Absolutely.
You guys can put your fake glasses up. Here's to T-Pain, to all the success.
Appreciate it.
And much more success to him. All right, this is your 10-year anniversary,
That's
man.
a premium draft right there.
That's pretty good, man. I thought you said it was apple juice. 10 years, man. How fast did that go by? Did it fly?
It flew. It flew until like around the around the 7th year. It started getting a little slow, but now I went through it, man. And 10 years, it goes by faster than you would think. Faster than it sounds. 10 years is a lot faster. Once you find out that SpongeBob SquarePants is like 45, then you start to figure out that things have been going a little fast.
SpongeBob SquarePants. But
anybody know that? That's a true fact. He's like 40-something.
45 years old? Yeah. What is that fascination, man? I learned about SpongeBob SquarePants through my daughter when she was like 3. And so I would sit down and watch it with her, and then I fell in love with it too.
No, this is something I was doing on my own. This is by myself. This is before kids. I was already on it. But, SpongeBob, man, just a happy dude. something you can fall asleep to, and you don't have to worry about jump scares and shit like that. Like it's just better to fall asleep to. A lot of colors. I like colors. This is dope.
A lot of colors. So it's safe to say SpongeBob has been a muse in your life.
Oh,
for a long
absolutely,
time?
man. You got to be ready. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he's always on the job. You know, he has a very positive outlook on any given situation. He's not normally a sad guy. You know, the only time he really gets sad is when he thinks somebody don't like him. And I think that's just, you know, that's overall human nature right there in a sponge.
All right. My hero is Muhammad Ali. Yours is SpongeBob.
And Mr. Krabs.
Okay.
Get into that money, nigga.
Yeah, I'm gonna take another sip to that, man. Hold up, man. Let's see how this is going. All right, one of the things I always liked about T-Pain is, I have a special appreciation for guys who actually play instruments and guys who actually know how to write music, and especially people who know how to sing in key, which could be rather rare in the business I work in. I don't. But what's your training? What's your background?
There's no training. You know, it was mandatory training. Mm-hmm. There was no, my parents didn't force me to do it. It's just I wanted to do it, and I couldn't pay somebody to show me how to do it. So it was kind of. I had to do it on my own. You know, I had to figure out how to play keys. I had to figure out how to lay guitar on my own tracks because I couldn't pay somebody to come do it. And, of course, I was, around the time I wanted it, I was getting a little fame, so everybody automatically assumed that I was able to pay for these things, and I just couldn't. So I had to sit and really just teach myself. It wasn't no apps yet. It wasn't nothing that I could do, and I had to really do it on my own. So, it just helped. I guess it helped out in the long run.
But one of your parents, were they into music?
Well, all my family was into music. At some point, they were in some kind of band or something. Nobody showing me shit. They didn't care.
Okay. That's not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah. No, my dad kept me on the drums. You know what I'm saying? He bought me a drum set for my birthday and stuff like that. And he was in the March 100 in the FAMU marching band, so that helped out immensely. My mom bought me a little keyboard, and they, they just kept like feeding the music to me. So it wasn't a forced thing. It was like they saw what I wanted to do, and they just supported it. So, I always say that about my kids now. Whatever they want to do, I'm just going to support it. If you want to be a professional xylophonist, then let's go goddamn do it. I don't necessarily agree with that life choice, but we're going to make it happen. So, they just supported everything I did. And once they started feeding the music to me, I started learning how to, get it done on my own and, take some of the stress off of them and really be, a musician and a better son instead of just mooching off of them and letting them buy everything. I kind of went in on my own and just, kept my shit together, and they didn't have to really worry about it anymore. So
okay, you stop mooching. That's a good way of putting it. I don't think my daughter would agree with that, that perspective on what it is. How different is your children's childhood from what yours was?
It's very, very different. Mm-hmm. But what I do to keep everybody grounded, I kind of tell them stories on how I used to live. And, I didn't have a pool, and I got one now that we never use. It's just a waste of time, waste of space. And, I tell them that, listen, y'all gonna go swimming, or I'm just get rid of the pool and put another studio back there. It's gonna be gone, and y'all ain't gonna have that option. So, I always tell them, like, I had to eat old food all the time, and what I'm saying is y'all be grateful that you can get these things. And they didn't know the difference between a McDonald's meal and like a sushi layout. Like, what I'm saying? And we had to like give them the difference between this because they started wanting the sushi layout a little more than McDonald's. We got faucets. Everything ain't gonna be Voss water. Like, it's going, like, you gotta understand. I know we got a little more money than a few people, and then they had questions about that. Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, we're a little better off than a few people that you know. So, after I gave them that speech, they got together all the video games they don't play anymore and all the stuff, and they was like, can we help people out by giving them this stuff? And I was like, absolutely. They don't get to have these things. And they was like, oh, well, we got more then. We was being stingy. So they went and got the rest of the stuff, and it let me know that they don't have to go through what I went through in order to understand what they could be going through. Mm-hmm. So, that helped me out a lot. But their childhood is pretty much somewhat the same because I will remind their ass.
You will remind them.
Things can be a lot different.
Do you whip your kids?
I do not whip my kids.
You do not?
I do not whip my kids. My kids got common sense. I try to, every now and then, when they do something wrong, they know it's wrong. And I just got to look at them and say, really? And then they go, I know. I know. One day I came home I just went to the store real quick and came back, and I had some paperwork laid out on my table in my kitchen. And when I came back, one of the pieces of paper had the word fuck written on it in pink marker.
In pink marker?
In pink marker. Yeah, so my wife didn't do it, hopefully. So I went to ask my son because he was the only one that stayed home from school. And also the only nigga in the house with a pink marker. Nigga, like, what? So I just brought him to the paper. I said, bro, did you do this? He said, no. That's it. Bruh. Come on, son. And it was like, I didn't think it was going to stay on there. And so I'm like, cool, all right, cool. You told the truth. I'm gonna take one of your PlayStations. I don't know which one's working. It's just something. I had to do something. I took his computers, his laptops, and you can't listen to Lil Wayne songs for a few days. Like it's just a lot. So, I try not to whip him, man, and just teach him common sense. Like you're doing wrong. Don't just don't do it. Make the decision before I have to make it for you. And that's it. And it's just a better way of instead of having them have that bad connotation with doing something that they feel like they're not supposed to be doing with pain. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's just, you know what comes with it. There are consequences, but I don't want it to be a painful consequence. I don't want you to have that connotation, so I try not to.
I like that, man. My sister says that's what the slave masters used to do to the slaves. When you did something wrong, they'll punish you with pain. So
it's not.
you're not. How did you get punished as a kid?
Same situation.
You got punished with pain as a kid.
Sometimes I got whoopings.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, one of the major times I got an ass whooping is when I stole my dad's car. And I went out for a night on the goddamn town. I was 12 years old. I was at the club. Whoo! I was at the club. Woo-hoo! Parking lot pimping 12-year-olds in front of a Cadillac DeVille, baby blue. It was all factory. We couldn't get rims and shit back then, but it was pretty cool. I went out on night on the town, picked up this chick I knew, took her from my house. We went just everywhere all over the goddamn city, and took her back home. And her parents called my parents, and she was like, okay, she just got home. Did your son just get home? And yeah, it was something I could not lie myself out of. It was a board. It was a goddamn piece of wood.
Board?
Yeah, it was a piece of wood. He did not fuck around about that. I didn't know the insurance was bad on the car, so he thought somebody came. He thought the tow truck came and got the car and me. But no, I'll tell you when I stopped getting whoopings is I called my 5th grade teacher a bitch. And she was a bitch. I didn't like her. So I called her a bitch. And my dad was like, you getting your ass whooped when you get home.
Uh-huh.
Cool, right? I get home. He's home. He don't whoop my ass. The anticipation is killing me. I'm waiting until like 8 o'clock. It's almost bedtime. And I'm like, dude, like, I know it's going to hurt. I'm trying to like be able to sit down tomorrow because I know that shit lasts for a little bit. So I go in the living room to him, and I look at him. I say, I'm ready. And he goes, you ready? I said, yeah, I'm ready for the whooping. He was like, you know what? Since you said that, don't worry about it. You ain't getting a whooping. As an adult now, I now know that he just fucking forgot. Because when I said I'm ready, he basically said ready for what? Like he just absolutely forgot that he was supposed to be whooping me because he didn't care about the teacher, but he had to look like he did in front of the principal. So
he just absolutely fucking forgot to whoop me. That was all that was. And then when I that was the last time that he ever even threatened me with a whooping, because I guess he felt like it didn't faze me anymore. So,
Yeah.
you know, he just fucking forgot.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
That's great, man. Man, you said something really interesting, man. I don't want to dwell on it, man, but did anybody pause when he said to his kid, when he told his kids, you don't know what it's like to eat old food? Did y'all hear that?
It was yeah.
What, old food?
Old food. There's a thing with like when it's past leftovers, and they just been in the it's been like, you know, old Burger King burgers that just kind of sitting there a week or two. Like sometimes that's all you got. I've done it. I mean, you talking to a man that's eating mayonnaise straight out the jar, not for pleasure, but that just because that's all I got. Like, you know what I'm saying? And there have been things like that I've had to do that I need to let them know that it's very possible, you know, God willing not, but it's very possible to get back to those things. Like
the old food.
Eating old food, and you know you can't be in the goddamn apocalypse like is that gluten free? Like that? You can't. And I gotta let them know that there's some situations where you ain't gonna be able to pick. It's gonna be all you have, and I just make sure I keep them in that mind frame. So, you know, when the goddamn whenever Y2K actually happens, I don't want them sitting there asking for fucking spring water and shit. Like it's not gonna happen. So I'll try to keep them in that mind frame.
Or that sushi spread.
Yeah, you don't want the sushi spread
so
in the apocalypse. It might be people meat. You don't want that. You don't want that.
It sounds like you had your mother, your father. You grew up in Tallahassee?
Yep.
Okay, so were y'all considered middle class, or what was your economic status?
We were middle upper.
Middle upper?
They owned a restaurant in the city on the south side. So, you know, we were somewhat better off. My dad built our house with his bare hands. You know what I'm saying? So we had the biggest house on the block. We was the only ones that didn't have a trailer on the block, actually. So, you know, it worked out to where my dad was pretty fiscally responsible, but not really, because he's still a black dude. So it's kind of, it worked out to where we just had a little more than everybody else on the block. And you know what I'm saying? It stuck with me when they lost the restaurant, how bad things got. Like, that's when my parents split up, and, you know, things started getting bad, and I started going on the road, and my dad was my manager, and he started getting in trouble with things, and, you know, I see how fast things can go to shambles.
Yeah.
So I try to prepare them for that. Not saying that it's going to, but goddamn it, if it does, you're gonna be ready.
Yeah.
You know, so I try to keep my family in that mind frame of be ready for the worst, expect the best, want the best, but goddamn, be ready for the worst.
Right. So damn, you skipped a whole lot. So you got to start going on the road. How did your daddy get in trouble?
You know, chicks.
Okay.
Road stuff.
Okay. Did you snitch or?
I did not snitch. The cell phone business did. It was not safe.
Okay.
Yeah, this is when cameras started just coming on phones and shit. So yeah, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't nice. He was taking his own videos. It's weird. Yeah, you know how some chicks are just messy. They'll find a way to like tell my mom and stuff like that. Like, it's just bad, man. It's the road, man. It'll get you. It'll fucking get you.
Did they endure that, or did that lead to something?
It was something that was already happening. You know what I'm saying? But they kept it together for the family, and then once things started getting too crazy, you know what I'm saying? It just wasn't. They couldn't take it no more. They were just like, we've been pretending too long. Let's go ahead and this is it. Obviously, it's not going to work. So let's just get out.
At what album was this when this was taking place?
This was before anything.
Before anything.
Yeah,
so
this was when I was 18.
When you were 18
years
old.
So, and I understood what was going on, which was even worse for me. You know, like most people, parents split up when they're young, and, my dad left when I was 3, and I knew exactly what was happening. And I knew what was going on, and I felt that, even worse, I felt like it was my fault. Because I felt like if I wasn't trying to be a rapper, I wasn't trying to be an artist, and my dad wouldn't have to go on the road, and he wouldn't have did all those things. And then, it weighed on me for a long time that I felt like it was my fault. But also it's a married couple. Now that I understand marriage a bit more, it's easier to understand like the things was already bad before that. So it just, it took a little bit of the pressure off of me, but it still was kind of.
It was still kind
It
of
hit
bad.
me kind of hard, yeah.
Yeah. How long you been married now?
I've been married for 13 years now.
13 years?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
And how many kids
Sex.
now? How many kids? 13 years of sex.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, hey, cheers to that. All right, okay.
Killing that vagina.
Yeah, okay. Killing that vagina. Wow. I've talked to a lot of people in interviews. I think that might be the first time I heard somebody refer to their wife by killing that vagina.
Absolutely, she loves it. She loves it.
What kind of kid were you? Were you ever bullied as a kid, or what?
I was bullied a lot as a kid. I was bullied a ton as a kid, man. I would always have to call my dad up to the school and stuff like that and tell him people messing with me. And, I never really had any friends. The crazy thing was when I started doing music is when I started gaining friends. And the crazy thing about that is I got bullied so much, it turned me into a bully. And I started, seeking all the things that I wanted to do to the bullies that were bullying me. I started doing that to the smaller kids and the weaker children and things of that nature. That sounds like the fucking
weaker children.
Hunger Games just then.
Look, old food killing that vagina and the weaker children. I'm learning a lot about
to destroy the
T-Pain.
peasants. That was terrible. Fuck. That sounded real bad.
Yeah.
Please don't put that on the internet. The weaker children.
Wow. But that's how bullies think, right? They prey on who they think are weaker than them. Right?
Absolutely. And it turned into a bully. And then, later on in life, once I saw the kids that I was doing that to, I absolutely apologized. And once I saw the bullies that were bullying me working at Bennigan's, it was amazing.
Okay.
It was very nice. Not that, if anybody works at Bennigan's, hopefully you wasn't a bully. Then you just suck ass. So.
Okay. Damn.
You're going to be a bully, at least succeed later on.
Oh, come on, man. Don't do it, man. You can't. Hey, you could be able to reverse this, man. Real out. Tap out right now. Here, let's cheers. Toast to T-Pain, y'all. He's made a change. He's made a change. So you were in a group before.
I was in a group,
Yep.
the Nappy Heads. Woo! Fun times.
I remember the nappy heads.
Fun times.
Yeah.
7 niggas.
7 niggas, right.
The amount of arguments and disagreements was overwhelming, to say the least. It was, we had our hits, man, but I was producing everything. I was, I was basically doing all the hooks, and it turned into a feud within the group. And even with all that going on, we had our success in like a tri-state area, so coming from Florida, we didn't see a lot of the stuff going into Alabama and going into, Georgia and stuff like that. We went to Atlanta and lost our mind. Like, we had no idea that buildings could actually have working lights on them. Like, it's a lot going on. So we, it was just a lot. It was a lot to process. And once we started getting bigger and bigger, I was still doing a lot of the hooks and I was still producing everything. So, and my dad was managing the group. So everybody felt like the favoritism was at full blast, and it kind of turned into everybody against me and my dad kind of thing. And, I don't know why we thought we was NWA or some shit. It just wasn't working out. But even after all that, once I got on, after going solo, and I was working on my solo project while I was still in the group, because everybody else was. And nobody saw a problem with that. And I was the one recording their solo albums. And then when I did mine, everybody was like, "Oh, what, you trying to go solo?" I'm like, nigga, that seemed like the point now. So we went and did all that. And once I got signed to Convict, I made Nappy Boy Entertainment, and I went back and signed them to Nappy Boy Entertainment. I brought them up to Atlanta. I was down to Miami, actually. I brought them down to Miami. Let them live with me. I had my homeboys, Jay Lyric and Tay Dism, living in there too. So now it's just 10 people in a damn townhouse trying to figure it out, laying cushions on the floor to sleep. And, I'm putting them in the studio and stuff like that. And once they left one weekend, all my shit was gone. They took everything with them. They took clothes, jewelry, everything, and they didn't deny that they took it. And I was like, why'd y'all steal from me and my homeboys that stand with me? They're like, well, you can get more. And I was like, no. And also all that jewelry is fake, so just go ahead and bring it back, man. Like, it's just like I need it for videos and shit. So it was nice. It was nice. It was Miami got some nice flea markets if you ever go down there. It's very, very, very nice establishment. No, but I that was my first like betrayal, and I felt like that's when I found out how this industry is going to be, because this was right in the beginning. This is right after I'm sprung. So I'm like, I'm putting my niggas on now. And, come to find out my niggas are the only ones that betrayed me at that time. So it hurt more than anything to see them. I wanted them to win. They would have asked me to buy them jewelry. I would have bought them jewelry. But, to have them steal from me was just hurtful. And then they went back to Tallahassee and made a whole DVD about how I lied to them and how about how I'm flawed because I didn't come back to the city and throw some party at the park or some shit. Like, the whole point was to leave there, and but they kept to it and they stayed in Tallahassee because they were stars in Tallahassee. And when they got to Miami and Atlanta, they weren't stars anymore. So they went back to what they know, and they went back to, how they could be on top. And I still talk to them to this day, but it's just from a distance. And I can't be at fault for that. That's just, I don't want you to take my fake jewelry no more.
Is it still fake? Because I'm slightly blinded by the bling
this
right
one,
on stage.
Half of this is.
Okay.
The stones in it are fake. Ain't anybody paying for that shit no more. You know what I thought about?
Yeah.
If diamonds cost so much and they're supposed to be rare, why are there so many of them? Why is that? I'm trying to... Yeah, I'll pay for the gold just so I can weigh more, so I can know it's still there, because I drink a lot and sometimes I forget. So this helps out. Don't worry about that. Anyways.
So that's about the time.
Looks good, though.
Yeah,
Looks amazing.
Are the rings fake, too? Or is the ring?
No, the ring is real.
Okay.
That just had to be real. She wasn't going for that shit.
She wasn't. The one whose vagina you be killing? Okay.
Absolutely. I feel like, if I'm going to fucking destroy your vagina, I'm going to put some real stones on my finger.
I'm going to move on from that, bruh.
Talk about a lady that just had 3 people come out of her. I'm trying to, you don't want to just pay a little extra for a ring, my nigga?
Women are half applauding and half going, really, dude? That's what you summed it up to? She's had 3 people coming out. That's great. I appreciate your honesty. Rapper turned singer. We were talking about the rap part of you. You've been to our show, Sway in the Morning, a few times, and
absolutely.
And for a long time, a few times, man, and we've had some. It's always been like this. We don't do interviews. We just crack up and clown around.
Right.
I'm trying to be professional right now.
Trying.
But I heard you call your kid niggas, and then so. I wish I would call my daughter that. She'd be protesting outside right now. But I found a clip, of T-Pain up on the show, and on our show, man, it ain't no smoke and mirrors. You come on that show, you better come ready and prepared. So we put him to the test. He didn't even know I was gonna do it, man. But it's a clip of T-Pain rapping on Sway in the Morning. You can check out that screen. Let's take a look at it. Show you how much talent this man has. DJ wanted to drop a beat. Okay.
Yo. Check it. Yeah, I don't know how to start off a. That's how. Just
say I said. Say I said.
Okay. Yo, welcome to epicness. I'm so dope and it's effortless. Yeah, I'm trying to brag and boast. If you're looking for the shit, nigga, step in this. This is my ting. Hoes in the back room, kissing my ring. Ready for the day, hit me with the Visine. Getting to the money, counting up the ice cream. Me a baller, boy. She with me, you better not call her, boy. I'ma pass around to all my boys, and she want the nuts like almond joy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you do.
All right.
Okay, you got something else? Okay.
Pimpin' since been pimp ass nigga. Whipping expensive whips ass nigga. They be trying to hold me, but they know I got a rollie that'll make your fucking wrist go limp, my nigga. Yeah, you a simp, my nigga. I bet your pocket full of lint, my nigga. Everybody knows that I put it on these hoes. I got a sounding like a motherfucking chimp, my nigga. Welcome to the jungle, dog. Balenciaga by the bundles, dog. My bitch gotta put a helmet on, cause my wide receiver don't fumble balls. I'm rich as fuck and y'all like that shit. I smoke good, nigga, like that spliff. Throwing money in the air, make it right back, bitch. And I'm drinking like I don't know what a nightcap is.
This boy could rap, y'all. This boy could rap.
Yeah.
Man, when your wife hears these lyrics, it's like, what is she? Has she ever said, "Babe, what are you doing?" Like, has she ever?
No, I'm usually with her when I come up with it.
Really?
These are from real situations.
It's real situation.
These are from real situations.
But how can it be you married? Do y'all have an open?
No,
open?
no,
It's not open.
Not open at all. She like girls though, so that's pretty dope.
How did you discover that?
Costa Rica can do some things, man. It's real. No, I was on vacation, man, and you know, it was just some things happening in a club of the stripper variety. And it was just some. It surprised the shit out of me too, man. I didn't know this was like 7 years in already.
Okay.
So you know.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, it's Costa Rica is an awesome place. Come from the jungle, stay because you got married there.
Yeah.
And that's what it's dope though, man. I mean, you know, she doesn't mind the lyrics. She knows that it's all things that she knows about. It's not like this must have happened when he was on the road. Now she knows. I had a problem with that before, but you know, I stopped, man, and it was ruining things for me. You know what I'm saying? Just getting on the road with, you know, and I was having flashbacks of how my dad and my mom split up and stuff like that. And it just occurred to me that there was no reason. You got somebody there that love you, that's being faithful to you, and you got somebody that only like you for right now because they might get some likes on Instagram. They might. They usually don't. It's a terrible situation. But, you know, you got somebody like you for the moment. You know, why not just throw that away, man? You about to throw away all this whole life y'all built together just for this chick because she got blue hair, and it's not going to work out. So, it'll be the ones, boy, that blue hair.
The blue hair ones? Anybody, just a show of hands, got blue hair in here today? Anybody?
There it is.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about. I'll see you in a little bit. My wife is in the room.
She's in the room? Your wife's in the room?
What are you talking about?
Okay. Okay, I'm going to talk about music a little bit, man, because, shit, I'm getting uncomfortable. Yeah, here's a toast.
One more time.
No, every time.
Come on, you a little
I feel
older
like
than
I'm
me.
going to get in trouble for the stuff you say.
Absolutely. That's my whole goal.
All right. Why did you turn singer?
Basically because everybody was rapping. And it was so easy to rap, man. It was just, you know, not saying I was great at it. I'm just saying that, you know, it was just so easy to get on as a rapper because, you know, in Tallahassee, it wasn't many outlets. And everybody was doing the same thing. And I was rapping at the time, so I kind of got sucked into the crowd. Like, I was just a part of the crowd, so I wanted to be something different. So I just tried it one day. I started singing, and then I got sucked into the R&B crowd of Tallahassee, and then I was like, something's got to separate me from this. And then I found out what auto-tune was.
Ah, so that was really just a tool to differentiate you and what you were doing.
Absolutely. I wanted to have that different sound that people can know that it's me when I'm doing it. Because, you know, everybody had their cliques of singers and cliques of rappers that they was already messing with in Tallahassee. So being sucked into the nappy heads as a rapper and then this other R&B clique I was messing with as a singer, like I needed something that was going to put me in the forefront, something that was going to get me noticed out of the entire city. You know, because everybody, that was a cool thing to do. The coolest people in the city were rappers and singers. So it was everybody was doing the same thing. They was following the trends. Well, if the coolest rapper say this, then I need to say this, and if the coolest singer do this, then I need to do this. I couldn't take my shirt off. So it's fat, just fat. Still there, still not taking it off. But it just I couldn't find anything to separate me other than, you know, I already had dope music, but it sounded like everybody else. So I needed to find something that can at least change my voice to where you'll know it's me when you hear that music.
You know, it's interesting. I just want to see a show of hands because we've had this conversation before, friends of mine, that we argue that had you not used auto-tune, ironically, I don't know if you would have been the success that you are today.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Who
either.
believes that? Show of hands. So you got about 20% of the people in the crowd that believe the same thing I believe.
Right.
What do you believe?
I don't think so, man. I don't think I would have been as popular, or, you know, because it was a refreshing thing. Because when I came out in the early 2000s, that's what it was. It was R&B groups, and it was R&B artists. And, you know, if you were a rapper that didn't have an R&B dude on your hook, then it just wasn't, you know, you didn't have nothing. So I would have got lost in that. I would have got lost as just another subpar singer within the world of great ones, you know. And, you know, like I said, I wasn't looking forward to actually correct my pitch or anything. I just wanted to sound different. And if I wouldn't have stood out like I did, then I would have got lost in the rest of the world of music.
Which is the irony of you, because auto-tune, you know, it wasn't being used as a crutch. You know, it was being used as a tool. So in this business, you got to have something they call radical differentiation to separate yourself from the fray, if you will. And one of the reasons why I think you're one of the most influential and most impactful artists of today's time, because I remember, I'm going to paraphrase, I don't remember the exact words, but I remember So Far Gone by Drake was one of my, you know, when that first came out, man, I was like, oh my, you know.
Right.
I slept with that album, you know, and
Right.
and I remember him commenting, saying that you know, a lot of what Kanye did with 808 and Heartbreaks,
Right.
kind of was an influence on what he did.
Right.
And 808 and Heartbreaks was influenced by whom? By T-Pain.
Goddamn right.
Okay, so think about that. So when you think about how many people, but anyone else who used auto-tune didn't kind of, you know, bear the grunt, you know, they didn't have the backlash that you've had. But I just started thinking of people, when Wayne came out with Lollipop, remember that?
Yeah.
Gigantic hit. What was Wayne using?
Auto-tune.
Auto-tune. Britney Spears, auto-tune. J-Lo, auto-tune. R. Kelly easily set the standard in R&B music throughout the 90s. Even R. Kelly used what? Auto-tune. So the list goes. Chris Brown, to me, I think he's a great singer.
He's one of the best.
Doesn't have to use it. But what has Chris Brown used? Auto-tune. Jamie Foxx, auto-tune. You know, so the list goes on and on.
Feels
When
good
you-
to hear it, though. It feels good to hear it.
You feel good? That's what I'm saying, man. This is a celebration, man. This is, I went to Puerto Rico, reggaeton artist, Wisin and Yandel.
Yandel, yeah.
Most reggaeton artists, what do they use? Auto-tune.
I thank you.
Who made it popular again?
Again.
T-Pain. Future, auto-tune. Thugger, auto-tune. I mean, Sierra, auto-tune. You know, but you got a lot of backlash. People thought you couldn't sing. Man, I pulled up this clip of T-Pain singing. Yeah, I got clips, baby. I think about this shit, man. You know. And
Show me bananas.
I don't want to play the whole thing, but you were at a Dodgers game, and they got you to sing the national anthem.
Yeah.
And that shit went viral, you know. And I want to play. I don't know if all you've seen it or not, but I'm gonna play it from the middle. I'm not even going because everybody wants to hear the end.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's
All
the
right.
best part. That's the best part.
Let's take a look at this. T-Pain singing with no auto tune.
For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
T-Pain, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for T-Pain, ladies and gentlemen.
Fucking right.
So we go ahead and eliminate that whole question of whether or not you can sing.
Right.
I don't even think you need to talk about auto-tune another day in your life. Do y'all agree?
Well, the good thing is I'm making money off of it now, so that's pretty goddamn awesome.
Well, talk about that.
Well, I felt like if I was going to get ridiculed about it so much and people were still going to use it, why not just go ahead and make bread off of it? So obviously I came up with the I Am T-Pain app that lets you sound like T-Pain right on your iPhone. I got the I Am T-Pain microphone that lets your kids annoy the shit out of you all day, sounding like me. And there's many more things coming. So, you know, it's something that I established and something that I brought back to the world, so I feel like I can't abandon it just because motherfucker decided to just pick on me by myself. Like that's the world bullying me, and I got out of it in school. I'm gonna get out of it in this life. So you know, I feel like it's my turn, and people hate the originator of things. Everybody that originated something, they get hated the most because it was something brand new, and people do not like change. And that's just a natural human defense mechanism to say, I don't fuck with that shit. No, he can do it because he did it after. No, you can't. I don't fuck with that shit that you're doing. People just hate change, and I understand that. And with that understanding of the you know the way the brain works, like that's something that you can really capitalize on, and something that you can see patterns. There's patterns in everything. So once you figure out that pattern, you find out how to make money off of it, and that's what people call the Illuminati.
The Illuminati. You met your first member. I knew it. You tell by the color scheme on your sweatsuit.
That's it. That's a wrap.
You're really invested. I don't know if a lot of folks realize how invested you are and curious about technology.
I'm in it. I'm all the way in it.
You're all the way in it,
I'm
right?
all the way in it, yeah.
Where did that come from? And I read that you were actually creating some type of music box for sounds. Is that?
Well, it's a whole studio in like the size of this table.
Okay.
You know, I've been recording on the road a lot, and a lot of things that I see are very difficult to do when you got a bunch of shit in your backpack and you got to find a table to put all that shit on. So what I did was I created like basically a briefcase that when you open it up, you take one cord out and you plug it in, and you got your whole studio sitting right there. You know, it's not a laptop. It's just it's a screen. The computer's behind the screen. Everything you need: keyboard, microphone, guitar input, headphone jack, everything that you would need in a full studio is right there. That's just about the width and length of this table.
How did you learn that?
Necessity. I needed to record on the road. I was doing so many features, but I also had to do shows, and I couldn't get in studios in goddamn Burlington, Alabama. Like I don't know where to find a studio in some places, so I had to get these things done, and you know it was literally just necessity. I had to create something that allowed me to keep my craft going and keep my family fed while I was at the same time doing shows. Getting my family fed. So it's being greedy and a little necessity. So that's what created that.
You know, his career, the reason why I want to back it up, you know, a lot of folks know it, a lot of folks don't, because talking about your parents went through, talking about your childhood, talking about your group breaking up, you know, talking about auto-tune, talking about the backlash. You know, I always wonder what makes a person tick and what makes them resilient. You know, and you've been through a lot of ups and downs, and knowing your history helped me to understand how you were able to get through some of the downs, because your first 3 albums did extremely well. Would you agree?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
You
absolutely.
know, Epiphany did well, 3 Rings did well.
Yeah.
right? Rapper turned singer, did extremely well for you as well. Revolver didn't do so well, right? Okay, and it feel like around that time is when you was getting a lot of the backlash. And see, artists are sometimes separated from humanity.
Absolutely.
It's like,
Absolutely.
like you not flesh and blood,
Right,
you know?
right.
And so when you're getting, and then social media came into play.
Yeah.
You know, and social media could be extremely vicious if you're so invested in it, and if you let social media and opinions of everyone define you, you could get really depressed.
Absolutely.
So when you were at that bottom, you know, and it just seemed like people were writing you off, you know, and you had already did collaborations with 95% of the industry.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you got whack juice on you.
All of a sudden.
Y'all know what whack juice is? That's an old school expression, some real hip hop shit. It's when nobody gonna touch you because you got whack juice on you. You know, I'm curious too, though. In that time when nobody was touching T-Pain, this is right after the death of Auto-Tune came out and all of that.
Right.
Who were some of the people that you helped out? Well, you're not gonna answer that.
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. All right. Great. Let's have a conversation. Who were some of the people that you helped out that didn't pick up the phone when you were at your bottom?
It was an array. It was a good array of motherfuckers. But I mean, I think the one it was a ton, man. I gotta say, it was a lot of people, but I don't think any one hurt me as much as DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled, wow. Really?
I don't think one hurt me as much as DJ Khaled, and you know, it was not just him. It wasn't like him just like saying I'm gonna stop fucking with T-Pain. It was because of some of the things I was doing and some of the things I was saying about him in certain interviews and stuff like that. And you know, like a lot of people stopped fucking with me because in that depressive moment, of it was like an industry wide thing. Like, don't fuck with T-Pain. He may very well tell the truth about what you're actually doing. Like like it was to the fact that I was like, I wanted everybody to know how fake and fucking stupid everybody was in this industry. And it was a memo that went out saying everybody do not fuck with T-Pain. If you do, don't let him know how your operation actually works. Don't let him know your car is leased because he's gonna tell people. Don't let him know that your jury is fake because he's gonna say something. Like, like it was a lot of that. And throughout the years, I had been so honest and so caring with Khaled, and I felt like he wouldn't be one of the people that kind of, you know, just stopped fucking with me off of that. And he did. And, you know, I was calling him constantly like, yo, like, bro, anything you need me to do, I'll drop right now. I'll drop anything right now. Come to Miami, you need me to do something. But at that time, he had started picking up with Future and stuff like that. And it's just like, it was just, you know, when me and Khaled, it was song after song after song, hit after hit after hit. And then, you know, we started getting 5, 6 Future songs on every album and no T-Pain. And everybody was asking him on Twitter like, yo, did you just stop fucking with Pain? Like, so, you know, I kind of caught that as well. And then I started hitting him up. And he was like, yeah, nah, I got you. Come just, I'll be there. But it wasn't, you know, and I always I'll tell him and Jay Wanz it too, man. It wasn't Khaled's fault that, you know what I'm saying. He needed to be a part of the industry still, and I know if he would have kept fucking with me, then nobody would fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that. But you also got people like Chris Brown that never stopped fucking with me. Neo never stopped fucking with me. And, you know, it was, I don't know if we had like an R&B correlation or some shit, but it was just something that they just never stopped fucking with me. And I, you know, like I said, there was a ton of people that didn't pick up the phone anymore. And once, you know, I guess once Jay put out DOA, then everybody was like, well, who else can we get on this? So, you know, it fucked me up a lot, but I don't think anybody fucked me up as bad as
Khaled.
Yeah.
So, isn't that interesting? Anybody in the crowd ever have a good friend that was close to you that you felt, you know, abandoned you?
I'm the only one.
Show of hands. Okay, because I like for folks to understand that, man, there ain't no difference between this man and anybody in that crowd other than you got different jobs.
Right.
And what those jobs bring to your life. The Future thing I know is hard, you know. Yeah. And I feel like you initially were trying to embrace him. Have y'all ever met or?
I got to some side motherfuckers, but it ain't never been a real direct thing. It's been like, I talked to Rocco, like you know what I'm saying. And Rocco was throwing the most threats at me, and him still worked it out. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I don't know how that worked out with Rocco talking to Future. Future's supposed to be Rocco's little brother and stuff like that. So, I mean, the whole thing, I was really embracing Future. Like I was really rooting for him and doing all this thing. And then his youngest brother I met his youngest brother in the club, and that's when everything exploded.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I even talked to his younger brother, Lil Josh, afterwards, after all that club stuff, and he said he don't remember saying what he said and stuff like that. And this is Future's younger brother told me that Future don't fuck with me, and Future he'll never support me, and he'll never support anything I do. So after that, I went on my tangent like, well, fuck all y'all niggas then, because that's how black people work. And so that's what started the whole thing. It was never like a musical thing. It was never Future. I don't know if he said anything, but it was never something that was direct. It's just me flying off the handle because I'm seeing my friendships go down and his coming up. So it was a jealousy thing at first, but then I was like, why am I jealous of this dude? He's a young black man coming up from the hood of Atlanta. I need to be supporting this. And I started supporting the shit. So I went to his little brother, and that's the only reason he said this to me is because I went to his little brother and said, I need to work with your brother. And then he said, my brother don't fuck with you. And I first was like, why? And I was like, you know what? Fuck why. Fuck y'all niggas. And so, no, it's never been a direct thing. And it was the BT Award, the BT Hip Hop Awards of 2014. It was in Atlanta, and I actually had a chance to go up to the Hip Hop Awards, and I was trying to hit up Future, and I was like, bro, let's end this shit on stage. Like, somebody tell this man we need to end this shit on stage in front of the world. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to some chick that was like, well, I'll talk to him for you, and I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a direct thing. It was never like, can somebody tell me what Future said? Nobody said anything that Future said. It was just, I got nothing back. Well, what is he going to get out of this? And I'm like, what the fuck you mean? What is he going to get out of this? Why are we trying to benefit off of each other? Like, it's not going to be that. We need to end this shit because I don't have a problem with the man. And I'm sure he don't have a problem with me. We have zero reason to have a problem with each other, other than some shit that his drunk little brother said. And I was trying to end it for the longest, and then after a while, I was just like, it's a waste of time. So I just stopped talking about the shit.
All right. So, and to this day, it's never happened.
Nah.
Let me call Future right now. Let me see if I could call him on speakerphone and see what happened. Damn, I ain't got his number, but I would have.
I was ready. I had the speech ready.
Wouldn't that have been dope, though, right?
That would have been so dope. That shit would have
Future is swiggity,
changed
man.
the world.
Holla at the homie real quick, man.
Motherfucking Michael Jackson would have came back alive and made a song about that shit.
I'm curious because Chris Brown is someone who's, he's felt it. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
But he stuck by you. He's a loyal dude.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure he had a ton of advice or insight on how to deal with it. What did he say?
Well, the stuff that he was going through, I was on my fucking depression spiral before he went through that stuff. So I was advising him, and he was trying to like just say fuck everything and just I don't care about this shit. And I'm like, no, you need to care about it because unless you embrace it, you'll never know how to deal with it. You can never really see how to really get out of a situation unless you really get in it. If you try to ignore it, it's just going to stay there until you deal with it. So seeing him go down that road and just being angry, and I was angry as shit too. Like it was so many holes in the walls in my house from me punching shit, and it's just like just from being mad, just seeing a nigga video make me mad. Like what I'm saying, there was a point in my career where I couldn't even fucking shoot a video. Like, my label wouldn't even let me shoot a damn video. And just seeing a nigga bring out a new video just set me off on a 2-day fucking rant. Like, so, having gone through that and seeing that, just looking at myself like, bro, why don't you just shoot a video? Like, why does the label have to let you shoot a video? Like, just shoot a goddamn video. The problem was I didn't want to spend my money on a video, and the label didn't want to give me money. So, you know, once I saw that and stopped blaming everybody else for the shit, and I was like, Chris, you got to stop blaming people. And he know that I stuck by him, and you know, like we was on tour on the Fame tour, and Usher came up to Chris's tour bus, and Usher said something about Chris in an interview like 2 days before that, and Chris like kicked him out. Chris kicked him out the whole, like, don't even come to the venue, bro. Like, you can't, we in Atlanta. And Chris told his man he can't even come to the venue. And I was like, that's what not sticking by somebody does. You know what I'm saying? Like, we supposed to be in this together. We black kids coming from the same place. We all coming from the bottom, man. Like, we supposed to support each other. Don't just go off on these things like that. And I started looking at myself after I told him that, and I was like, shit, I've done that a lot. Like, so, you know, we kind of, for lack of better words, we fixed ourselves at the same time. So, you know what I'm saying? That created a stronger bond. So, you know.
Fix themselves, man. I'm not mad at that. Self-preservation.
Absolutely.
Right? And then things start turning around when, I mean, you came up on the show to talk about the Greatest Hits album.
Yeah.
But you talked bad about the album.
Yeah.
You did not like that album was coming out.
Well, here's the thing, because with the label, Revolver did bad because I don't know if y'all noticed, like, all the labels like just did a merger, like all of them just came together. So I was signed to Jive, and then out of nowhere, nobody said anything. Like a week into the Revolver album, I was signed to RCA, and nobody told me. And the reason that the Revolver did so bad is because nobody cared. Nobody in the label cared about that album. It was basically RCA. They got 4 labels worth of artists and 1 label worth of staff.
Okay.
So when you got these people that's supposed to be going to the radio and pushing singles, they'll have 10 fucking singles to push to the radio station. If they get 1 on the radio, they did their job. So all the rest of the shit falls to the back. So at the same time, I'm trying to come through and impress these people, and I invited everybody to my house and, you know, all this other shit, and tried to, like, have a listening party just at my house. Invited everybody to my house, had drinks. President of the label came through. I'm like, okay, cool. I got drunk. Fucking went off on everybody. I'm trying to hide it. You know, you do the corporate thing, like, I really hate you, but I'm gonna smile right now because that's that you pay me. Yeah. So, but now I got drunk because, and I was back. Well, I got drunk because, but I went off on them because they were listening to my album, but nobody was listening. Everybody was just talking. Everybody was just talking all over the music. Like, you could not even hear the fucking music anymore. So many people were just talking. So I'm like, listen, I know y'all don't do this shit to nobody else, because obviously y'all still putting out records for everybody else and y'all ain't doing this shit. So I blacked out. I think I said something about Chris Rock or some shit. I don't know. I can't remember, but I know that after that, everybody at the label was like, well, fuck T-Pain then. We that's just what happens. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and you know, I don't blame them. You know what I'm saying? I talk to them that kind of way, and then I expect them to, you know, advance some money for me for a single. Like, you know, so it's been difficult in that aspect, but looking back at it and trying to figure out myself it was a better reward, because I got to see how much of that shit was my fault. Yeah. But at the time I was blaming everybody else. So, you know, it was it feels better to have to go through those things. That's what I mean by diving into your problems and getting into your situation, because you'll come out a better person and a more knowledgeable person. And you'll know more how you work. It's going back to know thyself, and you know everybody else. So, you know, that just how that happened.
A lot of gems being dropped right now. Ironically, Up Down was on that, right?
On the yes,
the Greatest Hits.
On the Greatest Hits album. So what happened? Here's what happened with the Greatest Hits album. I told them that instead of dropping the Greatest Hits album, I want to do a live album, and we'll make it to where I'm performing all my greatest hits, but I'll have new features. Like, I want to put Kendrick Lamar on I'm Sprung. Yeah. I want to put I want to put FKA Twigs on I'm in Love with a Stripper. Like, I want to do things that are going to revolutionize these songs and make these songs new again. And I want to bring back, for one time only, MTV Unplugged. And I want to do that, and I want to perform it like that. They said, no, we're not doing that. Ain't that stupid? So
They said no to that.
They said no. Let me tell you why. 2 weeks after I said that, I did the NPR joint, the first one. That's when they came back and said, we need to do a live album. They said no to it because they didn't think I could sing. None of them have ever heard me sing before, and I didn't realize that. So they said no to me doing a live album because they thought it was going to sound terrible. So they just completely canceled the shit instead of saying, oh, let's see what it sounds like. They just said, no, we know you can't sing. Like, but in their mind, they just didn't think I could sing. And then I did the NPR shit, and then they came back to me with the idea like it was theirs. I mean, at this point, they had already started putting out the Greatest Hits album. And it was too late, which is why I hated it so much, because I had such a great idea, and it got stifled, and they tried to make up for it by putting out just songs that people already got. And I'm like, let's make it new, let's make it fresh. And they threw away the idea because they didn't have the knowledge that I could actually pull it off.
That's interesting, right? You see, that's what goes on behind the scenes.
Illuminati.
Yeah. But fortunately for you, like, you know, you can't measure an artist's career by one or two songs. That does not make a career. All of them, you know, all the greats have had their ups and downs, and you separate yourself by the way you pick yourself up,
right,
and you keep moving forward. Which now I feel like the pendulum, the momentum has swaying a little bit, and now you're going back up.
Right,
you know,
right.
when you got Rolling Stone giving you R&B comeback artist of the year.
Right.
You know, Iron's Way and being said one of the best albums of 2015. And, give this man a round of applause because he, you know, I think Complex said that, right? So and so you start catching that feeling again.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you'll do different this time around as you starting to, you pretty much back, you know. I mean, the president came out. I was at the White House correspondent dinner when he came out to All I Do Is Win.
Yeah.
And I apologize for this, but I immediately called Khaled.
You should have. You should have. It is
hey,
his
man,
song.
listen.
It is
they
his
playing
song.
your song.
Yeah. Right.
And so it's been a lot of great things that's happening now. What would you do different that you learned from all the adversity you faced?
Condoms, man.
Condoms.
Very, very important.
Damn, that was deep.
Yeah.
Condoms.
No, I wouldn't expect, I would want, but I'd be prepared for the worst in people. If I would have known that people that I considered friends, when they stopped fucking with me, if I would have known it would have hurt me so bad, then it wouldn't have affected me as much as it did. And that's what created that downward spiral. When people just, when I couldn't call people anymore, when I couldn't, you know, when I like still to this day, if I hear somebody like a rapper I look up to, if they say my name on a song, like I get like, oh shit, that nigga say my name. Like I still look up to these guys. And these people that I really, really and truly respect. So when you get that disrespect from them, and it hurts you so bad. If I would have been prepared for that, then yeah, I think that would have helped out a lot.
That would have helped out a lot.
Yeah.
How much time we got?
Probably none.
How much was that? It's long already? Oh, I could go long? Oh, snap. All right, cool. Okay, this is what I want to do. I want to let you guys ask him questions. Anybody want to talk to T-Pain, just line up in the middle. All right, and there's a few things that you could touch on.
Getting up for real.
Okay, say your name, if you don't mind, where you from, and go for it.
My name is Bosco.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
That's Bosco? My family?
And I want to challenge you right now, T-Pain, to a battle.
Yo, Bosco, come here real quick, man.
I was pretty goddamn
Oh,
cool.
hold
I'm not
up.
gonna lie
Hey,
about that.
First of all, Have y'all ever met? No, y'all need to know each other, man. This is Bosco, a friend of mine from the West, man. How you been, sir? Yeah, good to see you, man.
Look, we need an extra chair for this motherfucker, apparently.
Okay, go back to the mic. Well, okay.
Up here, man.
Well, don't challenge him, man. That's not the forum yet.
I'm kind of cheating because
See my fat ass down.
Like real good friend. But I didn't plant him in the audience. I didn't know he was here.
You knew he was here, nigga.
No, I didn't know.
And I'm a T-Pain fan, and I've been playing Talkbox forever. My name is Bosco. I'm the founder of Electrospit. We have a wearable device right here. This is Electrospit.
It's pretty fucking cool.
And my question, well, first of all, I'm speaking on a panel tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and we're trying to get T-Pain to
Promo!
about this technology, but I wanted to know, T-Pain, how did the app affect your career and technology? I know you have the studio that you're talking about, but how did the app boost your career?
It got me more well known. Great question, by the way. Fucking great question. It got me more well known, but at the same time, it to the people that aren't into technology, it made them take me less serious. So you know what I'm saying? It kind of put a stifle on me, and it was in certain communities. But they didn't take me as serious because they was like, oh, this nigga went from saying he a gangster, now he making toys. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, so it just got less serious, but also made me a ton of fucking money. So I'm fine. I'm cool
That's
with not
what's
being
up.
a gangster. Be a rich bitch all my life.
Real quick, too, real quick.
Yeah, I've been in the studio with T-Pain when we did You and That Booty and many other times, and I just
Yes.
want to say I've known from the beginning that he's an amazing singer and an amazing songwriter, which I think doesn't get fully recognized. The songs that he writes are amazing, and I think that's
Thank
one
you,
of the
bro.
biggest things about his career
Absolutely.
that's made him blow up. And I think he would have been successful without auto-tune. It did make him stand out, but that songwriting is amazing.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Bosco. Bosco, a Grammy Award-winning producer too, man. Get to know this dude, man. Get his number, get some beats. Why you kick my name off the stage?
Yeah,
man?
no, that's
We was
fine.
homies.
You can leave it there. That's fine.
What college you went to? What college was it?
USC, mechanical engineering graduate, cum laude. Yeah.
Cum laude. And then you played basketball too, right?
Yeah, USC. We went to the national tournament. I was out there balling. But I know where this is going. Uh-oh.
Who's the only person to ever shut you out in a basketball game on his home court?
Sway.
There it is.
So great question, man. Great
That's
question.
how that works.
All
Good
right.
question. Great question.
I had to do that because I almost snapped my Achilles tendon trying to guard him. All right, next question. Go ahead.
We only have time for 3 more questions, just
Okay.
letting you know.
Ain't that a bitch?
But one of them's mine, so that's good. Hi, T-Pain, how you doing?
How you doing?
So I'm a new R&B artist and a real singer, and we know you can sing. And like as somebody who's seen a lot of, they got me feeling short out here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
As somebody who's seen a lot of success with all the auto-tune shit, I got no complaints about that. I love that.
Right.
Do you think there's still space in the industry and on the radio for people like me, people like Tweet, people like Jasmine Sullivan, who's really out here like singing? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think there's more room for it than it is people that's using auto-tune. I think if somebody actually gives the relief of no auto-tune, I think it's just better. I mean, you know, what's new dude named Ro Jones? Like Jerome James. He's
yeah.
amazing. Like, and people really love that song. Like, I've heard that song in the club many times, and it's a relief to people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's about what's sounding, like everybody's sounding the same right now. I did auto-tune to sound different, and now everybody sounds like that. So now somebody that comes with the reverse, it's even better. You know, I was on a plane going to the BET Awards in LA in 2013, and Usher was on the plane, and the flight attendant woke me up and said, Mr. Raymond would like to talk to you in the back. I went around, and Usher was standing there, and he was like, listen, man, I just want to talk to you about something. I'm like, cool, what's happening? He was like, you fucked up music. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, you know, for like real singers, like you kind of made it to where like, it's just fucked up now, man. Like, you know, people don't appreciate real singing as much. And I was like, I didn't do nothing. Like I kept what I did to myself. It was up to everybody else to start copying me. I mean, I know you don't want to use it. This dude, Usher has perfect pitch. You can give that man, you can say, yo, hit an A flat right now and he'll bust it, no problem. Like, but you know, to hear that from somebody that is a great that I respect, like that's one of those things I said, that fucking shut me down for the rest of the fucking week. And because I was really thinking, I was like, damn, did I fuck up music? I mean, at one aspect, I was like, holy shit, I fucked up music. I'm fucking important. This is, but no, I mean, it's breaking through that. It's breaking through that. What he really meant was, it's not as easy anymore. It's not as easy to just be a great singer. You know what I'm saying? Because now everybody can sound good. Now you gotta write. Now you gotta fucking be creative. Now you gotta come with these different, songs conceptually. Like you gotta, it's work now. And I think that's what he meant. I hope to God I didn't fuck up music.
No.
I don't think anybody here thinks that you fucked up music.
Okay, good stuff.
Nobody thinks that.
No, man. No.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you for
it,
your
man.
question. Next.
Hi, my name is Bones Vision. I'm from Canada. I live in Miami. I work behind the scenes, and I want to know a little bit about royalties, publishing. I know you showed love to everyone, and was you getting paid or?
I will tell you this: from 2006 to 2008, I didn't charge anybody. I didn't charge anybody any money just because I wanted the favors back. I didn't want, I wanted them to come get on my shit. And then 2009 happened, and nobody would do it. So a lot of the songs y'all hear, and a lot of people like, you must got a fuck ton of royalties. Nah, I didn't charge anybody. I was just happy to be in the studio with them people. I just, what I'm saying, a trade-off would have been nice, but they didn't see it as a trade-off. They like, nah, I'm already more famous than you. Why would I? No, I'm not doing that.
No, but you didn't even get your publishing, like your writer's credit?
Well, I didn't get in. I didn't go in for that because I was on BMI and I had got money from them. So basically, any piece of money from publishing was going straight to BMI. So I had just knowing that they were going to make that money back. They were just like, here's a ton of money, and we'll throw some interest on it, and whatever you get paid, whatever you're supposed to get paid in publishing off of these songs that you're doing, we'll just grab that. So, after a while, the money they gave me before started running out. And, that's when I started charging people after that. But now that whole front run of my career, I was like, I'm just happy to be here.
What song you think you got? Because Low sold about 6 million, right?
Well, we 10 million now.
10 million now?
Yeah.
Low is at 10 million?
Lowest diamond worldwide.
So is that the song you feel you made the most? Was that the most lucrative song of your career?
My most lucrative song was Blame It.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Blame It and Good Life.
And Good Life with Kanye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are those are the ones that got the Grammy. So.
Yeah. Damn.
That's the most lucrative. But
so 10 million. What kind of depending on the cuts, what kind of artists possibly make if it's?
Well, it's hard to say because it's over the years.
Yeah.
You'll never get all that at once unless you ask for an advance, in which case you won't get nothing when it keeps selling past that advance. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to say. It's really hard to say, especially because there's so many other things that was coming in at the same time.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. At some point I got a check for $9 million. I was like, I don't have to read anything else for the rest of my life. At that point,
But you wouldn't advise that, right?
I would not advise that because
okay.
I went on a tangent. Like, fuck school, son. No, it was just I definitely wouldn't advise that.
Right ahead.
Keep it I would say, if there's any advice I would take from all that is put half of it somewhere else, or a third, maybe a quarter. Put a quarter of it somewhere else, and then just let that linger, let that stack up. Make sure you got this one place that you keep all your quarters of your money. Anytime you get a check, if it's 50,000, put 1,000 somewhere. That's it. But as far as publishing and royalty and points like that, don't pay attention to that shit. You'll never get it.
Damn.
Pay attention to it too much, it won't come fast enough.
All right. Next question. You're the last question, man. Hey, listen, man. Make this one a doozy, dude.
I got you.
All right.
Definitely. My name is Sam. I'm from Hawaii. Came a long way. Always been a really big fan.
Thank you, bro.
And I just want to say, you kind of already answered half my question, but if you could just kind of elaborate, you kind of started talking about when the Greatest Hits thing came out, and you really wanted to do that live album, and then you did NPR. There was the Tiny Desk, and then the 30 Minutes. So it's like, again, always been a fan, but then when you see T-Pain singing Sam Cooke, and then one of his songs right before and right after, and it all just sounds amazing, I feel like it was just kind of next level. First of all, I think you already had that envision and kind of already trying to explain that, and you're like, okay, it didn't happen this time. But I mean, for you personally, but also as like the world in general, it feels like waiting for that for like hip hop music in general. So maybe if you could just elaborate on that vision you had, and I feel like, you know, maybe something like that could still happen with you. Obviously, you want it to happen, it feels like.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the vision I have is just exposure, man. I mean, just big things. We all want these big things. We're all in this music conference because we want to be on the stage around big shit. Like we want the big backdrops and the sets and things like that. And we all got these visions, and it's the getting to it that's the most depressing part, because once you find out that you can't just have those things don't come with your contract, or it's not part of a rapper kit or some shit, like you just kind of you kind of have to accept that, listen, you just got to go on stage and just show these people a good time, because all this shit in the background ain't gonna do nothing but distract them from you anyways. So the vision I have is for people to just realize how much I put into this. And that's the same, you know, not to bring up other people, that's the same thing that Kanye wants to do. You know, Kanye is just frustrated because his visions don't come out right. And the things that he saw, he has been able before to know what those look like. So when I do things now, and we're, you know, if I go perform at like a club, and I'm pissed off backstage because I'm like, bro, this fucking club, why you got me performing in the fucking club? My manager gets it all the time. You got me performing in this fucking stupid ass club. It's fucking 300 people out there. They can fit 4. You should have got the other motherfucking 100. You should have paid them people to come here. Like, it's a vision that I would have appreciated in 2005. Like, that's something that I would have killed somebody to perform in front of 300 people. But I've been bigger than that. So I feel like now in my mind I should stay bigger than that. And I always tell people the hardest thing about being number one is staying number one. And that always stays in my mind. But like I teach my kids, you got to be ready for all this to go away, and you got to be ready for it to fall. So you got to make the most out of your biggest vision and your worst fear, and you got to learn how to make the most out of everything in between.
Thank you for your question, man. Before you go, will that T-Pain Lil Wayne album ever happen? T-Wayne.
Oh, boy. We got the songs.
You do have the songs.
We got all the songs. We
New
got
ones,
all the
or
songs.
are they all dated?
There was a financial debate going on with Young Money, Cash Money, so I just kind of didn't want to get mixed up in that.
Say no more.
Yeah, it was a lot happening, but they seem cool now, so I don't know. Maybe
you saw the what's the Collie Grove album?
That happened.
That happened.
That happened.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe
change. So maybe you can revisit that, right?
Yeah. Now it just seems like I'm copying those. I don't want to do that.
Okay. And then the Rise of the Phoenix.
The Phoenix, man, I don't know. It's just been a lot of back and forth for me and the label. I haven't felt like the album has been right. It hasn't showcased, it hasn't been my vision. And, and it hasn't showcased everything that I can do. And I got more people paying attention to me than I ever had. So it's kind of, it's between that and then I get a timeline or a deadline and I can't meet that deadline. And then the label's like, well, let's push it back. And then I do have everything together and like, well, let's put this one song on there. And I'm like, I don't like that song. And they're like, well, if you do this song, we'll give you a release date. We'll up your budget some and we'll do that. Okay, let's do that song. Okay, 5 weeks later, the song flopped. Okay, we got to put your album back again. And I'm like, well, that time it wasn't my fault. But we know, but we want you to go strong. We need you to have a big single. And I'm like, well, fucking stop picking the singles then. And because obviously you niggas don't know what you're talking about. So it's so it's kind of like a big bargain that's happening. It's like a back and forth that keeps getting that. My album has been pushed back 5 times. And 3 of the times it's been me, 2 of them it's been the label. So it's just it's a pissing match on who knows what they're talking about the most. You know, it's about who can pick the better single, and we both keep losing. So it's not really working out for me because they still getting money off everybody else. But I need to, you know what I'm saying? I need to do my thing. But I know that when it's right, it's right. God is always on time, and I'm not going to rush him.
There it is, man. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for T-Pain. T-Pain. That's what's up, man. Thank you, man. That was great.